Welcome to the HMO Property Podcast, where we connect, educate, and inspire the UK's HMO property community. So stop what you're doing, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. What's up, HMO Nation, and welcome to another episode of the HMO Property Podcast with me, Rupert Wallace, in association with HMOHub.co.uk. In this episode, we're interviewing successful HMO property investor, Alex Annable. Alex is going to take us on his HMO property investment journey, including the ups, the downs, the highs, and the lows. Now, Alex has been investing in HMOs for some 18 months now. He's completed 2 projects and currently houses 16 tenants. Now let's jump straight in. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you. Before we dive into the details of your HMO journey, Alex, tell us about your background.
So my background is engineering. So when I left school, I went to engineering, did an apprenticeship that worked on power stations and retrofitting all the turbines and engine all the parts, everything like that. So it's always been quite hands-on from day one.
Practical.
Very practical, yes. So going into, moving forward, it helped to be able to see different things. Like when you go into see a look at an engine. Or a turbine, you can see where the malfunction could have been taking place. It's like when you're trying to strip it down and just be quite technical and have a look at where problems might arise and just strategic and stuff like that.
You got to be a problem solver in property. Tell us,
definitely, yeah.
Alex, tell us. So, did you go to uni? Did you come straight out of college and go into engineering?
So I went straight from school into an apprenticeship. Which was a 4-year apprenticeship.
Great.
And then did my apprenticeship and then did a year on power stations where I did my apprenticeship over and above at my time. And then after that, I swapped jobs and I currently work at Rolls-Royce building jet engines.
Is that where you work now?
Currently, yes.
Brilliant. Excellent. So you're not full-time property yet?
I'm not, no. Oh yeah, I really enjoy my job still. So and my job still allows me to do property in outside and also inside of work. So because I work shifts, so in the mornings I can do property viewings, I can make calls, do this, and then when I'm on a morning shift or not afternoon shift, I can do it in the after work. So it's quite handy with the different times and things like that, and still having a full-time wage, allowing me to move forward with the business.
There's a lot of scenarios where people jump out of their jobs because they absolutely hate them, but it's always nice to hear someone that absolutely cares about the company that they work for and are still really happy in it. Because really, I guess for you, property was about the option of financial freedom.
It was, yeah. Wait, I say the option. So the option only came around probably HMO wise, really. Before that, it was also always an additional income to my wage. So it was like the wage. So how I was taught, but my parents do property as well, and they're in a very old-fashioned time frame. So it's like you buy a house, you pay it off, and then you have the money then coming in, and you do it like that. Whereas the thought process nowadays is completely different, and for them it's really hard for them to get their head around it.
But you've taught them a thing or two.
I have, yes. They're still very and on about it, but they are making the steps towards the newer effect and the newer way of doing it. So,
great.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Alex, tell us how you got into the world of HMO property investing specifically.
So, after my 2 buy-to-lets, I did in 2012, I did a course. I did it's a mentorship with a paid organisation called Legacy, also known as Elite, or other things like that. So it was really good. A lot of information. So I can't fault it, and paid for a mentorship as well. So one of the more experienced people in property came around to my house, sat me down, went through all these deals, went through investment opportunities with not with him, because part of their structure is you've got to do it on your own. You can't work with the mentors for like I think 2 years afterwards. You're finished. So that was very interesting. So one of the courses on there was HMO. So going from HMO, doing the course, finding the ins and outs of it. The reason I paid for the course was they say it fast tracks a few years in advance. They say you can learn all the information for free. However, it's just like a kick of the arse, and then you find the information, you get told the information, or you pay for the information. So I did the HMO course, and it opened up a new avenue for me. I'd looked at HMOs before, however, it's more of the networking events or the groups I'm in. A lot of people in there are doing HMOs, so I was like, I can't really. It's not really my.
And they don't have the best reputation typically either, do they?
That's it, yeah. So, and when you think of HMOs, even the neighbours. So I've had we're putting planning permission in for HMOs. The neighbours are like, oh no, we don't want a HMO there, and they reject it. And rightly or wrongly, when if they say something or reject it, I do like to go around and do a follow up. It's not like take the heavies round and beat them up. It's more of an informative chat. So it's what I go around with the portfolio, the pictures, the standards I work to, who I work with, and the 9 times out of 10 they come round to the idea of okay, fair enough, yeah, if it's a professional person who letting the HMOs out, so it's really nice.
So back in 2017, you just decided I'm gonna get some more. Like, what was the catalyst for you to go? I'm gonna get some more training, get some more education, and go down that path.
Well, the part of the training I did was you sign up for 5 courses. So it was like buy-to-lets, flips, distressed, HMO, and commercial properties, or commercial. And yeah, I just worked the way down, and as soon as I hit HMO, I was like, that sounds really interesting. I'd love to be able to do that. And I've heard stories about your HMOs that are really distressed. And my physical partner, not my business partner, she is now my business partner, but at the time she wasn't. She's told me about, she used to live in HMOs and they used to be dire compared to the standard I work for. And towards. So I like the idea of being able to provide the luxury living for tenants. So it's like a home away from home, because a lot of people in HMOs commute from their place of work, place where they live, to the place they work and stay there during the week and then go home. So it's quite nice to be able to provide that area of a home away from home and the luxuries and stuff.
It is. And before 2017, was there anything holding you back from getting into HMOs?
It was always the unknown, really. So I'd heard about them, but I've heard about them through the groups. So the groups were like, oh, I've just done this, I've just completed on this HMO. I was like, in a way, I was going to be a small fish in a big pond. That was my understanding. It was like, it just takes a lot of encouragement to put you out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. So I was umming and ahhing. I was very pessimistic on the whole change, going from, well, you can get your financial freedom from buy-to-lets. Yeah, it would take a bit longer, but at least this is the process. I think it's all about mindset and being able to change your mindset on how you look at properties and how you look at the deals and etc.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly. It's the abyss, the unknown.
And sometimes the unknown comes with uncertainty, but as soon as you get
Yeah.
to the known, funnily enough, the uncertainty goes to zero.
Yeah, it's a case of, oh, I wish I'd just done this on like straight away, or I wish I'd been able to just go, oh, why was I even holding back? Yeah,
Yeah. When's the best time to buy property? 20 years ago. Second best time? Today.
yeah,
All right.
definitely, yeah.
Alex, tell us about your very first HMO property deal.
So my very first HMO deal was a it was a 4-bed to start with, which me and my business partner converted into a 7-bed. We bought it for 145,000.
Wow.
So it was very good. It was an old
Right.
Victorian house in prime location in Derby, where I live. So, and spent, including stamp duty, fees, renovation, everything like that, it was round about 90. I put it down here, 98,000. So all in all, we were 243,000 into the deal.
Yeah.
We had it then valued on the refinance, and they got valued at 375.
Wow.
So
You made
massive,
130 grand in your first deal, equity uplift.
definitely, yeah. And then
Drop the mic, eh?
I tell you what, when I heard that, I was like, it got the ball rolling. I was like, right, what can I find now? I can
What
do
did your
this and
parents
do
say?
that. Even after that, they were still a little bit. Oh, what happens if you don't get tenants? What happens if this? What with this? Do you not think you're getting like you've got a lot of property? You're going to pay it off. You're going to do this. But they are still now coming around to the idea of it. Believe it or not, they must be coming around to the idea because they are one of my investors. So yeah, they can't be all bad. They like to see it working. They've had a nice return in the last couple of years with the money they've invested.
So you're 240 odd grand in, 370 on exit. What is it cash flow?
So it got valued at 375. It was the mortgage was 70% on that, so that was 262.
So a few grand out. Well,
So
brilliant.
a few grand out, yeah, it's even better when there's money out plus extra. The mortgage is £750 a month, and when it's fully all tenanted, which is currently, it generates £3,600 a month.
Wow.
Which is a cash flow of £1,800 a month.
After all bills.
After all bills. So it's first deal.
Do you know the average salary in the UK, Alex? It's about your one HMO, is what it is.
It's crazy, isn't it? The one HMO, and then technically, if you wanted to, if you were that way inclined, you could just quit work once it's all done.
Wow, man! I'd love to do a feature on that if you'll let us do a spread on that particular deal, and we'll publish it on the website.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, that's fine.
Brilliant. Okay, Alex. I mean, this question might be a bit redundant now, but how has investing in HMOs changed your life since you started?
Well, it's opened my eyes to a lot more areas of income. So going back to what I was saying earlier about my partner, my actual partner, she said that she was living in an HMO and the conditions were quite dire, and being able to provide the living and the luxury living that I do, it's a massive uplift for me personally. So yeah, I think other than that, I've probably got to the main thing. I mean,
a lot of people do answer money, but for some people, it's not all about the money. You know, it's about a bit of contribution as well. It sounds like you've got that.
Yeah. So with working full time, yes, you go into business, you always want to make money. The last thing you want to do is lose money on a deal unless it's more personal and like close to home, which I'll go into further on. So it's when you're making money, yeah, that's a good drive. However, because I like to be able to put back into the community, which I'll also go on to later on in the show. It's a big contribution for what I want to do with my life and stuff. So there's people who want to do training and stuff like that, whereas I want to do into more like the volunteering work. So being able to do that and still have a wage and living, from deals and property and stuff like that. It's really helped me go along my journey.
Brilliant. Alex, what's your favourite part about HMO property investing?
I think getting to know a lot of people. So within the HMO, within property in general, really, there's a lot of people doing it, and I've made a lot of connections, a lot of new friends, business partners as well in that within property and HMOs, and some of the tenants that are in the HMOs, I have like a friendship with, be able to associate with on a personal level. So, and I think that's nice being able to help them, just to be able to have them in a nice house for them to live in, and just going from that.
Brilliant. Alex, we've talked about the past. Before we move on to the present and your future plans in HMO property, let's take a minute to thank our sponsors.
Are you looking for an effortless HMO mortgage experience? If that's a yes, there's only one place to go: www.thehmomortgagebroker.co.uk, the UK's #1 specialist HMO mortgage broker. They're so specialised that they don't do anything else. HMO mortgages, HMO remortgages, and HMO bridging. That's it. They have access to every HMO lender out there, and even some exclusive products not available to other brokers. With lightning fast service and A1 communication, they're easily the best HMO broker in town. So to experience HMO lending made easy, go to www.thehmomortgagebroker.co.uk today.
Alex, fast forwarding to the present day, break down your portfolio and what you've got going on a bit better for us.
So I'll go through my property journey. So I had my first buy-to-let was a 3-bed. It was a 3-bed semi-detached. The second one was a 3-bed bungalow. So then I went on to a flip. We bought the flip as a 3-bed. The bathroom in there was absolutely huge, too big for what it needed. So made the bathroom smaller and created another room, decent size, still a double bedroom. So making it 4-bed, adding value that way, which sold them for a nice, still a profit, but it's not as nice as I was hoping. It's still, profit is profit, it's not lost. There's a massive learning curve as well, I can tell you that. The HMOs, there's a 7-bed, was the first one, converted from a 4-bed. The 1, 2, 3, it was the 9-bed, was converted also from a 4-bed.
A 4-bed to a 9-bed. How big were those 4 initial bedrooms?
Oh,
Blimey.
Crazy. So, well, we've made extra room. So in the loft space, we're actually gone down into the cellar for another a communal room. So you still got to hit all your legislations or your specifications for HMO areas and stuff. However, being able to go down into the cellar and then adding a few extra bits and bobs into the cellar allowed us to use it as a communal area and a kitchen. So that's been really handy.
Right. And then you got one in refurb at the moment. Just give us a real quick overview. What is that? Is that another 3-bed to 7-bed?
That is a 3-bed to 6-bed.
Brilliant. All en suite, super professional, jazzy, singing and dancing. Brilliant. And then you got 3 in legals at the moment as well. Same format?
Right. So the one in Stoke is currently, it is actually a 6-bed. It's a HMO at the moment. But it's from a landlord who's not really looked after it. He's not followed all the guidelines, everything like that. So basically, been able to take it off his hands, provide some new tenants with the standard, everything like that I work to is going to be really nice. The two up in Liverpool, there is an old doctor's surgery, which is a 6-bed, which with the reception rooms and the consultation rooms and stuff like that, that's going to be converted into an 8-bed or double ensuite HMO.
Fantastic.
And then the other one was a 4-bed going into a 7-bed HMO.
Brilliant.
So
Sounds like you've been pretty busy. Blimey.
very busy, yeah. It's stressful at times, but yeah, it's really enjoyable all in all.
Okay, and which one out of the ones that you've done and completed so far was your single best HMO investment to date, would you say?
It's got to be the first one. All the rest of them, yeah, all the rest of them, I've had to leave a bit of money in. When I say a bit of money, it's only within 3 or 4 months, all the money back out with the rent.
Got it.
However, the first one was money in, money out plus profit, so you can't really grumble at that. So you're not left anything. That's paid all the investors back, paid all this, paid all your fees, and you made a profit. So
you got it. All right. Next up, tell us one significant mistake you've made in your HMO business that by sharing you might help others avoid.
So when going through the purchase of a property, got an investor involved, everything like that, and it was a case of they were really happy with all the numbers, everything like that, and just said, "Yep, this is how much I've got to offer." So brilliant. So went ahead with all the legals and everything like that, and it turned out he hadn't actually got the amount he said. So the information he'd sent to me and everything like that was bogus. So it nearly, it's a guy from work, and I don't know what he was trying to do, but basically just, it was so close to losing the deal. But thankfully, I put a couple of posts out there, and one person came along and actually had the investment. I asked for proof of funds straight away, which is the main point of the question. Always ask for proof of funds. So I know some people do it differently. Some people go, yeah, okay, right, proof of funds, seeing that's happy days, I'm happy. But whilst I'm going through all the legals to prove that you're serious and 100% committed to investing with me, can you transfer, I don't know, 10% of that to show that you are willing to transfer the rest? So rather than going on it's a lot of it is to do with trust. So a lot of investors have come from social networks like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. However, so you don't always know them. You don't know the reputation, what they're like. So a lot of it is you've got to come down to your trust. You've got to be able to trust the investors. At the end of the day, they've got to trust you as well, because they're giving you a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, it's a trust on both parts. But
a good lesson learned early on, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
Alex, next up, tell us about your HMO portfolio plans for the next 12 months.
So we've got the 3 going through at the moment. Then just basically continue to grow. If one comes along, 2 come along, then find the investment, move forward with that. It's basically, I don't want to stop. I got the HMO bug, so you just want to continue to grow, continue to expand.
Have you got a number that you want to hit in the next 12 months, or are you just happy to, keep chugging along at this speed?
In the next 12 months, I'd like to have 10 in total. So another 3. So yeah, I think it's a nice steady progression. I think moving forward, it's a case of carrying on with the quality, not compromising on that just to make some extra money. I know a lot of investors are in it just for the money, and then they skimp on different bits and bobs. Not always the best. It's still to legislation. However, it's not always the nicest place for people to live. So
That's it. And it's always a bit of a false economy when that happens anyway. You know, when someone, it might look shiny for a while, but if it doesn't rent after the first tenant has left,
Yeah, that's it.
all of a sudden, you know, you're backpedaling, and that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is, as soon as a person moves out, you don't have to go in and redo all the decoration, do all this, do all that. You want to be just change all the bed sheets, change the bits and bobs. Done.
Perfect. Alex, what advice would you give anyone looking to get into HMO property investing for the very first time?
It's not easy. So I think perseverance is a main key of this. So I think being able to have the option and the mental ability to be able to walk away from a deal is key on this one. So if you've done your architect's fee, you've done this, you've paid this, and then all of a sudden something changes, so like a valuation comes back a little bit less, or you can't get the value on the commercial on the back end, or however you're doing it, being able to have the willpower not to just go, no, this is mine, I paid this much, I paid a couple of grand, to go, right, unfortunately I've learned from this mistake, it's not for me, and then walk away or renegotiate the deal.
So perseverance is the key.
Perseverance, definitely. So perseverance. There is courses you can go on. There's a few I could recommend. There's networking events. So in Derby, if there's anyone listening from Derby or the Midlands, there is ones in the area who do HMO heroes. There's HMO specialists. There's just property network groups. I think if you go into one of those, you're already making the first stage to being able to improve on your knowledge and show that you are willing to go out your comfort zone. So it's not easy just going to a group and to turn up to, and there's say 15, 20 people there. But at the end of the day, everyone was in your position. Whether they've got 30, 40 HMOs or 2 or 3 HMOs, I think going to one of those networks, and the ones in Derby, all the ones I've been to anyway, have been very friendly. That you arrive and then someone comes and speak to you straight away. There's a guy who's running it. He comes and says hello straight away. So you are that kind of thing is really good. And then, but yeah, going on the back end of that is you've got to network with people who are in the position that you want to be in. So if you're starting off and the person who you network with is in your position, you're not really going to learn much. You'll be able to bounce ideas off, but say you go and network with someone who's got 3 or 4 HMOs or 10 HMOs. I think you work it up in stages. It's like where you want to be in the future. You want to be networking or like trying to work with that guy, girl, a lady, and towards your own future kind of thing. So it's not just a case of you just turn up and then people don't give you information for free.
No, you have to add some value to their life.
Yeah. So with these networking events, you can create business partners, JV partners. You can have potentially people there with money, and then they've got the money. They want a deal to work with, or just go and basically, well, I'm getting 10% or whatever it is, or
yeah.
no, 1% in the bank.
Yeah.
What can you offer me? So I can, So
perseverance and people.
Perseverance, and that's it. Yeah, that's the main thing. It's just you got to get out of your comfort zone. So
got it. Alex, apart from building the portfolio, is there anything else you're up to that you'd like to share with HMO Nation?
So I do a lot of I'm just starting to do a lot of charity work.
Brilliant.
So one of the HMOs that I will be doing in the future will be a charity based. It's going to be whatever so where I'm looking at the moment is I'm looking at working with disabled people, people who have been not had the same upbringing as myself, like abused, and just basically working with them to try and help them in their life. I think that's a part of me to give back to the community. I think that's a massive win. So that's one of my, they call it whys for financial freedom. So I am maybe at the financial freedom point at the moment. However, I want to work it a bit further to be able to create a HMO or a facility for people in the charities to basically do it at cost, so that I don't make any money from it. It's just I know that it's helping out them. So whether I work with a charity, whether I work with, I'd like to do it myself as well. So once I do finish working at Royce's in the job, I'd like to be able to go around to the charities, go around and do volunteering work, whether it be in the property that I've provided or moving forward, just going around and doing call centres. I don't know, it's just all about, to me, it's about, I've got to this position through help by other people. It's not just me. You've got everyone around who's had an influence on what I've done. So I can't take credit for anything. So it'd be nice to just put it back and say, well, this is, that's basically my why. You could be able to provide and do something for someone else, whether it be helping one person or 100 people. It is helping, and if everyone helps one person, the
world would be a better place, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's a big passion of mine. So,
do you have a specific charity, Alex? And we'll make sure that we put it on your show notes page on HMO Hub, or have you not chosen it yet?
So it's not a charity as such. So my auntie and uncle went over to Africa, and whilst they were in Africa, they found we're doing a lot of exploring and found some tribes. And fast forward a few years later, they ended up selling their house, leaving their jobs, and moving to Africa. And when they were in Africa, they got talking they moved into one of these tribes, and because they've got the big pot of money that they've used to sell the house, they've been able to build medical centres, wells, like sports halls for kids, the churches in the area. Basically, they've helped thousands of people in Africa, and that's the charity I do support. And it's because it's very close to home, and you can see a lot of charities. You hear bad, negative reviews saying, "Oh, every pound you put in, 1p actually goes to charity," whereas the cause that I support, 100% actually goes to it. I know 100%, and I get photos of the things that they're doing at the moment. So, if I've given X amount of money, it's gone towards building this well. This well costs this much, or it's nice to see where your money's going.
Fab, man. Well, look, what we'll do is we'll pick up with you after that and make sure we link it up on the website for you if you wish. Alex, before we sign off, we'd like you to recommend one great HMO resource or business book that you'd like to share. Then let HMO Nation know how they can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay, no worries. The one book that stands out more than any, I've read quite a few books and listened to countless podcasts and stuff like that. I think the main one is the Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad Poor Dad. With that you get to see, it shows you two sides of the coin. So the rich dad and the influence he has on from the rich point of view, and then the poor dad on the different values and stuff like that. I think that's just an absolutely amazing book. And if you've not got that in your library, definitely do it. On Spotify, you can download it for free. So, well, I say it's free, it's prepaid.
Practically. Okay, and how about HMO Nation? If they want to connect with you, how can they do that?
So you've got LinkedIn, just type Alex Annable, Facebook, or there is my mobile number, LinkedIn.
Leave that for now, and we'll make sure we put. Have you got a website yet?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Okay. We'll put all your social links, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and all the required ones. We'll keep your mobile number out of the ether for now.
Okay, that's fine,
but I'm sure if they want to connect with you, and I'm sure they will, then they'll be able to do that.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger is probably the best way of connecting. That's
brilliant.
A lot of my network goes through that. A lot of investors come from that. A lot of JV partners. So yeah.
Great. We'll make sure we stick it on the site. Alex, brilliant. Thanks for sharing your journey. We salute you. Let's get an HMO high five.
Definitely.
And then we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Alex.
Brilliant. No worries. Thank you very much for that, mate. You take care of yourself.
Thanks for joining us. If you've enjoyed this and want more informational, educational and inspirational HMO property content, then please hit the subscribe button and give us a like. See you next time.